Meanwhile, the House GOP is losing its only African-American member. Texas Congressman Will Hurd announced his retirement last night, deciding that he will not seek re-election in 2020. He is the sixth GOP lawmaker and the third House Republican from Texas to make this announcement just in the past couple weeks. Hurd also said he's, quote, taken a conservative message to places that don't often hear it. I'm going to stay involved in politics to help make sure the Republican Party looks like America. Hurd represents a district that has flipped between Republicans and Democrats 5 times since the 1990s. His district also voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. Meanwhile, sources tell Vice News that more retirements from the GOP are on the way. The list includes Congressman Steve Chabot of Ohio and Jim Sensenbrenner of Wisconsin, among others. The Vice article also points out that many more moderate female and non-white House Republicans lost their seats in 2018 in that Democratic wave election, and white Republicans have made noise about recruiting more women this cycle, but there's little evidence that they'll be successful in doing that. Let's welcome back our political panel, Dr. Lauren Wright and Jen Kerns. All right, Jen, how problematic is this issue that, obviously President Trump won the last time around. Will Hurd is retiring. Does the Republican Party have a diversity problem?
Well, the Republican Party actually has a math problem now, first and foremost, John, and that is the scenario that you just laid out there. Look, in addition to the 40 or 41 Republicans who retired in the 2018 midterms, people like Congressman Darrell Issa, people like Ed Royce from back in my home state of California, that contributed to a serious bloodbath at the polls, as we all saw. But look, Republicans still have quite a challenge. They have to make up a net gain of 19 seats in this next election, or they're not going to gain the House back. And that is an uphill climb. That hasn't happened since Dwight D. Eisenhower was in office. But there is a silver lining for Republicans here. You look at the Democrat districts, there are 31 Democrat districts in which Donald Trump actually won in 2016. Those are 31 Democrat seats that are up for grabs. And if President Trump can win by a large enough margin of victory, which I believe he can, have like a Reagan-esque coalition in his reelection, he can actually help make up some ground. So President Trump's going to be key in this. But diversity and getting more women in the mix is definitely a goal for the GOP in 2020. That's why I've set up my new group, Women for a Great America, to help bridge that gap.
Lauren, what do you think about that?
I think the Republican Party has a huge diversity problem, and it's something I'm really passionate about as someone who's worked in Republican politics. Will Hurd, as you said, was the only African-American Republican House member. Now we have one person, Tim Scott, who is the only African-American Republican in a body of 535 people. And when Will Hurd says, I have to be outside of Congress to influence or have some impact on the makeup of Congress, that's a really bad sign. And it's not just race, it's women. There's like 7 of the 24 senators that we have that are women are Republicans. It's not enough. It's 13 of the 102 House members that are Republican women. It's really, really dismal. And it's not just Donald Trump. These numbers have been really bad for generations. But I have to say, it doesn't help when you call women dogs and you call them pigs and you call them bimbos. That does not send a message to women that you're welcome here. So if he could just find a way to tone that down, it would be way easier for people like Jen who are doing really, really important work.
Well, here's what does help, and here is the saving grace, I think, for the Republican Party this time around. Actually, we've had a great success for minorities and for women under this administration. You look at the unemployment numbers. The unemployment numbers for women are at a historic low. You look at the unemployment numbers for African Americans that are at a historic low. You look at Trump's own campaign donors. Half of those donors now are women. I think that is a positive indicator. And you look at his support among African Americans. He only got elected with, I think, 8 or 9% of the African American vote. Within 1 year, that grew to 10 to 15%. And now he's up at 25% and 30% popularity with African Americans. So this president is moving the ball down the field in terms of policies that people can support. And look, at the same time,
he's going to run on those policies,
Democrats
Jen.
aren't passing bills.
Yeah, we've heard that he's going to run on that policy too. We know Democrats, again, are going to continue going to try to use this race issue as a wedge one. All right, Jen, Lauren, stay where you guys are. We got to run a break real quick. Again, we're going to talk about the issue of race. It took center stage at last night's Trump rally and the Democratic debates earlier